to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Walt Disney. Good afternoon, everyone. I extend a warm welcome to all of you at the first session of Igniting Talks for the year 2020-2021.
It's amazing when I talk to young people and they talk about entrepreneurship, something that possibly was not there in our generation. I think it was more about study and then start working in some firm or some government. But when I look at young people like you, and we're talking about becoming entrepreneurs, it is really very heart welcoming. Yeah. So what I'm going to talk today is a bit of art and science of management. My task is not to educate you today. My task is to just take you through some of the things that I do on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, on an annual basis. What I hold important to my organization, what I hold important to my life, what I hold important as a discipline of management. Take some and reject some. It's important that all of us understand we have moved past a world where everything was supposed to be copied. Now we are in a world where it's good to innovate, it's good to find new processes, new things, new ways to do the same things. Yeah. So just to introduce a bit about LafargeHolcim. So we are a global leader in building materials. Yeah, we are operating in about 75 countries with about 27 odd billion Swiss francs of sales, so 27 or 30 odd billion dollars of sales worldwide. If you've seen this photograph, I think almost all of you must have seen this photograph by now. In your homes, in some paintings, in some in different pictures. So what you have is the two gentlemen. One is Krishna and other is Arjun. And these are photos that have been shown to us for a very long time. But today, I don't want you to focus on Krishna or on Arjun. I want to focus you to focus on the four horses in the front and think about what do these four horses mean to us. And I think a lot about it. Why are there four horses? Why not only one horse? What do four horses bring in? And what is the role of the horse versus Krishna versus Arjun? More importantly, what is the role of this chariot? Is it chariot? It is showing something. And this, if you look at the picture collectively together, this is what organizations are all about. This is what management is all about. And this is what inspires me in this picture. So when I see this picture and I think of a manager, one of the things which I question, and I think all of us should question, what if these four horses run in different directions? What if the horses don't run at the same speed? What happens to the chariot? What happens to Krishna? What happens to Arjun? And you will know that the first thing first in any organization, in any management, is what we call alignment. Alignment of so that all these horses they run at the same together, run at the same speed, run in the same direction. When you see the four horses, I sometimes also see them as issues and challenges that we face. I also see them as opportunities that we face. I also see the horses as are my own action plans of what we will do in an organization. What are my actions here? It also shows somewhere the chariot, the horses. They also show sometimes to me what I call the quality of equipment, the quality of the horse, the quality of people on them, and more importantly, and I think most importantly, it is an amazing pictorial description of an absolute trust between the horse, between the chariot driver, between the passenger, between the chariot equipment itself. It's almost like an ecosystem working together, the horse, the people on the chariot, and the chariot. And this perhaps, if you solve this puzzle, how to make all this work together, how do you make all this operate together, that is called management. So welcome all the students of RV College to this small class on what is management and how does one manage a $2 billion, $4 billion business or a $10 billion business or a $200 billion business. but the picture remains same. Alignment, understanding the challenges, understanding the issues, building your action plans, having that speed, having that direction, having that quality, and more importantly, how to build an ecosystem of trust between the different components of the same ecosystem. And this is what, when you do a strategy, even for your life, you should, what I always say, learn your mega trends, learn the context. So what in institutions, in colleges, what we get to know is the content. But what you get outside world when you start working is the context. And content and context is the balancing of these two is what produces great leaders, great managers, great entrepreneurs. So for example, for us, when we look at the mega trend, population growth, and we see that, okay, population growth is going to grow by about 22% by 2050. We're going to become almost like 10 billion people planet. Therefore, demand is not an issue. And that's how you link a mega trend with what's going to happen at the ground level. When you look at that, okay, a lot of people today live in villages. Even in India, about 70% of people live in villages. But more and more people are migrating to the cities. And we start doing our own calculations so that 2.5 billion people will move into cities. And again, we confirm, okay, from a strategic perspective, demand is not an issue. The people are going to have a higher living standards. All of us are looking for better houses, better apartments, better infrastructure, better flyovers, and so on. Yeah. And then you have in the context, the kind of mega trends that digitalization will change the way we operate, will change the discipline of management, will change the availability of information, will change the way we analyze the analytics. The entire analytics will change. So this we say is a mega trend. Yeah. And then we see around us that people, especially young students like you all, you demand a lot of those products that are sustainable, that are not environmentally damaging. And then we know, okay, there is a mega trend happening. So once you start developing the strategy, what we look at the big mega trends. What are the mega trends that will impact us, that will impact our working, that will impact our operation? The world is not really little linear, So, but what we do and what we should do all is to believe in that optimism, that positive view. Yeah? So darker the nights, brighter the stars. And this is very important because every time when you act, when you think and you act, you always get disrupted. Remember, I don't know how many of you people know about Nokia phone, and then this Apple came in, that's disruptor. But then this year we saw COVID-19. It's a major disruptor. And a lot of thinking goes, if there is a disruptor like COVID-19, which makes you think 10 times of how your business will evolve, how your business will grow, what will you do? So one is that we all sit down and wait for COVID-19 to go away. Other is that we all step up and we start doing activities. For example, for us, how do you protect and ensure business continuity is very important. So in terms of managing the health of all our employees, to make sure that none of them get COVID, none of them get into this problem. What actions can we take to manage health of our employees? But more, and then followed by how do you manage cash, capital, and credit? So I'll not take you to the entire thing. But what is important that when this kind of disruptor happens, then there is a management focus and then there is a board focus. And board is the representation of the owners of the company, the shareholders of the company. So their role changes and the management role changes. But what is important for us to recognize that disruptors will happen every time.
First question for you is, it's from Abhay. How different is business in the steel and cement industry from the year in which you started in 1993 to the present year?
First of all, thank you for that question. And you can see very different. One of the fact is that I used to have black hairs. Now I have white hair. So there's a big difference. But again, the hair represents something. Yeah. So the environment has changed a lot. The operations have changed a lot. So we have talked a lot about digital, about technology. These were not the subjects that we heard about 30 years back. Yeah. The subjects which are more recent. Customer taste has changed, and this is very important for all of you. I mean, I see most of you are wearing in the panelist ready-made shirts. Yeah, so this is not something which we have done. We were always used to go to a tailor to get our shirt made. So taste has changed. And third part, I think important to understand, guys, that our ambitions have changed. The ambition that I see in your generation or a generation above your generation is much different than our ambition. Our ambitions was more about getting a job, more about making a living. It's not about creating histories. And I'm so happy when I talk to you all because I find that this is the biggest change in that India has seen. You guys have changed the ambitions of India, and that we are very proud of.
So this brings us to the conclusion of today's session. Thanks a lot, sir. This session has really helped us gain useful insights and a new perspective, and we are really motivated in the future. And we are grateful for the time and effort you took to explain all the points. I would also like to thank our broadcasting partner, that is Crowd Product. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the audience for an overwhelming response of more than 400 participants. We really look forward to more such sessions. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sakshi. Good luck and do well. Bye-bye.